our job is hardcore.
There's all sorts that can happen.
Everything we do relies on this bond between us all.
Just stay down. No.
You're okay, you're okay.
You have to be comfortable in high-stress situations.
Save a life and you're a hero.
You're in the hospital.
How much? Do you want to tell me what drugs you want and when?
Save 100, you're a nurse. In Australia, 1 in 10 nurses hails from the United Kingdom.
It's a bloody good job. It's so good.
Big deep breath in.
Through their eyes, you'll see life.
Push.
The girl!
Death.
Unfortunately, we can't save her.
And everything in between.
Coughs, colds and sore holes.
Welcome to the front line
2, 3.
of one of the world's toughest
It's all right, darling. We're looking after you, okay?
and most trusted professions.
It was scary, hey?
Nurses are superheroes, without capes, just in scrubs.
St Vincent's Hospital has the 4th largest heart transplant unit in the world. Last year, 71 life-saving heart transplants were carried out.
In my role as a transplant coordinator, the most rewarding part definitely has to be the actual phone call to the patient to tell them we may have found them a heart or lung. It's definitely a privilege. That call in itself is such a big moment of hope for the patient. My name is Emily. I'm a transplant coordinator in the Heart and Lung Clinic at St Vincent's Hospital. My hometown is called Leighton Buzzard. It's a small market village about an hour north of London. And I moved to Australia 5 years ago. My husband's Australian. We have a wonderful life here. And we have a baby on the way.
Emily has arrived at the Heart-Lung Clinic to take over an organ retrieval mission from her colleague, Lisa.
Hey, Lise. How are you? Yeah, did you get some sleep?
A little bit. We had
8 hours ago, a donor heart became available.
in terms of you guys, you're leaving at 9:30.
Lisa has worked through the night, planning every complex part of the transplant.
So your recipient is Craig. I called you about 9 o'clock.
Now it's up to Emily to retrieve the donor heart for the patient, who is anxiously waiting upstairs on the cardiothoracic transplant ward.
His blood pressure is very stable.
Heart recipient Craig is 52 years old and has end-stage heart failure.
Any arm?
Yep, any arm.
Yeah.
A transplant is his only chance at having a longer life.
I've had problems with my heart since 2016, and then last year I was diagnosed with cardiomyopathy and I needed a replacement.
Cardiomyopathy means a person's heart has lost its ability to pump blood properly.
Let's head on up. Craig does have a severely dilated left side of his heart.
And just under your tongue.
His pumping function is severely impaired. Craig is just coming up to a year on the list now, so to get him to this point today is huge. How are you?
A bit anxious. I've been excited as well.
Lisa called you in overnight.
Yes.
And we're going to work hard to get your heart for you this morning.
it could go ahead or might?
Yeah, there's always a chance, obviously, when we get there and have a good look at the heart, if there's anything that doesn't look quite right.
Yep.
All we know so far is it's a good match. Obviously, blood group, height, weight, and cross-match, and those things are all lining up.
Yeah, right, yeah. All right, yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. And I'll come see you in ICU, hopefully, tomorrow.
Yeah.
All right, lovely. See you later on. All the best.
Emily is one of only 6 transplant coordinator nurses in the state who work 24/7 to both coordinate the transplant and retrieve the life-saving organs.
This esky will become the organ esky once we're on the other side of the retrieval.
Having the right equipment once they reach the donor hospital is crucial.
So in here, it's just 6 bottles of sterile saline.
The donor heart can only survive on ice for 3 hours.
Once we run the cardioplegic solution to arrest the heart, that's our clock ticking, so it's quite time precious from there on. Bad time to spill the ice everywhere. So just...
Everyone got their belts on?
Yep.
Emily and the surgical team will travel across Sydney by road to reach the donor hospital.
How long has this guy been on the list?
A year, actually. It'll be a year at the end of this month. My role as a transplant coordinator is bittersweet. Someone passes for another to live. It is hard. Like, obviously, with the retrievals, we actually see the donor, and that can be quite confronting. Sometimes, particularly young donors or traumatic losses, I really try honing on the recipient and what their life means, and do they have grandkids or kids of their own, and what it means for them to have another 5 years, have another 10 years. Some hearts get 30 years. And once you start shifting the focus to the recipient's quality of life and what their goals are, that's the life that we're saving.
But there are still no guarantees for Craig.
It doesn't always go to plan. All right, unload and get into theatres. When we get in there, open up, have a look. If we deem the heart not medically suitable, and then we do cancel the whole transplant from there on. And at that point, we have to close everything down and obviously tell Craig that it's not today. See if someone will let us in. So, fingers crossed for Craig today.
You're at St Vincent.
There is no such thing as a typical day in ED. You can't pick how any day is going to be. I'm going to get you around for an X-ray. My role is to see people when they first come in and see what kind of treatment they need. No, she's not for you. I'm going to put a collar over just to keep your head nice and still, OK? I work better when things are chaotic and loud and busy.
Open your eyes, you're in hospital, mate.
But as an emergency nurse, you've got to be prepared for anything.
Car 424, this is St. Vincent Hospital, go ahead.
We're coming from Bondi with a 53-year-old male who has had approximately a 3-metre fall from a ladder onto tiles.
There is a gentleman coming in that's fallen from a ladder. I'm going to be team leading this trauma. So get my sticker, ready?
Nurse Carly will be leading the team in the patient's urgent care.
The trauma team is assembled. Everyone's got their roles, their responsibility. In critical situations, we have to move quickly.
Every year, around 6,000 people in Australia are hospitalised after falling off ladders. Nearly 1 in 10 falls results in injury to the brain.
He's a roofer. He was working on a kind of veranda roof above a balcony. So he was on a ladder of approximately 2.5 to 3 metres high. Oh! Some timber slats have given way and he's fallen down. At some point on the way down, he has had a head strike with a query compound fracture through the elbow and maybe a dislocation. He's received morphine, ketamine and methoxy.
Don't move.
The fall from a dangerous height means he could have suffered a brain or spinal injury.
It's very important you don't move, okay? I know it feels a bit weird, but we're going to do all the work and try to help us.
Resuscitation nurse Yun works with the doctor to replace the brace on the patient's neck to better protect it while they assess his injuries.
Oh, what do you...
The poor guy is in a lot of pain.
I'm on right arm.
Wrap it back up.
Oh, it hurts.
Just figuring out what your injuries are. It does look like you've broken your arm, at least in one place.
You can see the bone poking out, which is something I really don't like to see.
The patient's arm has been crushed on impact.
Push against me. Yeah, give it.
Yeah.
But the team must also determine if he has suffered any life-threatening injuries.
Brad, we're just going to take you around for a scan of your whole body, all right?
We need to get him to CT to see what damage has been done, but it's really not going to be easy.
All right, everyone's got a good hold?
Yeah.
We'll go on 3. 1, 2, 3.
The worst case scenario is that he could have a bleed on his brain or he could be paralysed.
Sorry, mate.
In emergency,
1, 2, 3.
No.
Nurse Carly is treating a patient who's fallen 3 meters off a ladder and is in extreme pain.
Has landed on his arm and he has hit his head, so he could have a bleed on his brain or he could have neck trauma or be paralysed.
Sorry, mate.
Just going to give you some more morphine.
We really want to take the pain away, but we need to follow procedures for his own sake.
Some water, right?
Sorry, pain, darling, all right? When we get back, we get a bit of ice. Just if that's broken and they need to take you to the theatre, can't have anything.
The patient, Brad, needs to have a head-to-toe CT scan to check the extent of his injuries.
Just lie there, we'll wheel you around. Getting the poor bugger into the CT machine is going to be hard because he's in a lot of pain.
Unfortunately, we've got to roll you on and off. We've got to get these scans.
We'll get you some more pain killer, darling.
Yeah. Sorry. You're going back down. And we're going to go across.
You might need one more on that side.
And then the board out on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Oh, what's my arm, please?
You got it, I got it.
Oh, it's sore.
Yeah, it's because it's hanging off. We're going to strap it in, mate.
And when a patient's in a lot of pain, obviously we give them as much analgesia as they require.
No.
And we just use a lot of reassurance and deep breathing.
Is that all right there?
No.
No.
You want it tighter?
Yeah, it's going to have to be tighter. Because
There's
not enough. Sorry, mate.
Oh, that's good. Little buddy.
It's whatever's on the side. I think it's...
I'm just giving you some more pain relief before they do the scan. I'm going to give you some more morphine, darling, all right?
Jesus, please be careful.
Yeah, we're being careful, darling.
A lot of our job is just letting people know that they're going to be okay and we're going to treat them, we're going to help them, we're going to get them feeling better.
Yeah, we're being careful, darling. 1, 2, 3. Is that all right?
Yeah.
You good?
We get him there eventually.
Can you see it?
Fortunately for Brad, the CT scan shows that he has no brain or spinal injuries. But his arm is a different story.
Oh, my goodness.
Ten floors up, heart recipient Craig is being wheeled to the anaesthetic bay in the hope that his life-saving transplant will go ahead.
Hello, this is Craig for heart transplant. All the best, take care. Might see you later on down the track.
But he won't know if the donor heart is viable until they hear from the transplant coordinator, Emily, who was retrieving the organ at another hospital.
Alrighty. So all I'm going to do is hook you up to some monitoring, okay?
Yep.
So first
It's
of all...
an anxious wait for Craig, who has spent a year hoping for this day.
Coming down here, I just felt like I've been the best prepared that I could be.
Yep. In the best kind of health and everything.
Yes, yep.
Now, all he can do is wait.
We've been told it will probably be soon, but that's about it.
Across Sydney,
Just load up the van again.
the transplant is on. After 2 hours in theatre, Emily and the team have successfully retrieved the donor heart.
So retrieval all went well so far, so good.
But they now need to get it to St Vincent's as quickly as possible, while it's still viable.
Cedar 3, Kaya speaking.
Hey, everyone.
Scout nurse Kaya is one of 5 nurses who will care for Craig in the operating theatre.
Oh, that's fine then. Yep, yep.
We'll be with you by 2:30.
No worries, bye.
Good time.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Wow.
Cool. So we just got the core that we could move in.
1, 2, 3.
So now we're able to start setting up really quickly. It goes from 0 to 100.
Ready.
The donor heart can only survive on ice for 3 hours, so timing is critical. The surgeons need to remove Craig's diseased heart so they can implant his new heart as soon as it arrives.
Clamp.
It is precious cargo. As soon as that organ hits the ice, then the clock really starts ticking. Straight to ED. So the pressure's now on us as a team to get the heart back to St Vincent's. The sooner the better.
Okay, cool. I've just gotten a call saying the heart's now minutes away.
With the donor organ so close, it's time to take out Craig's ailing heart. He will be kept alive by a bypass machine that will replace the functions of his heart and lungs.
Bypass?
Anything that goes wrong now can have fatal consequences. Amazingly, Craig's heart will continue to beat outside of his body for a short time due to its own electrical system.
The heart keep quivering away and just eventually stop beating.
Craig's chest is now empty.
It's quite an incredible thing to see no heart in Craig's chest for a brief period of time. So what's keeping him alive is the heart-lung machine.
There's no going back now. The bypass machine can only be used as a temporary measure to sustain Craig's life.
Just waiting on the organs. They should be here any minute.
I just went to check if the heart had arrived. It hasn't yet. Right now there's a bit of nervous energy in the room while we're waiting for the heart. Not yet, Nicole. Not yet.
In emergency,
Because there's not enough. Sorry, mate.
Oh, that's good. Don't worry. Oh.
Nurse Carly has taken a patient who has fallen 3 meters off a ladder for a CT scan.
Can you see it?
Ready to go.
Luckily, the scan indicates there is no head or spinal injuries, but the man's arm is a different matter.
Oh my goodness.
It's very displaced.
Yeah, I can see it. Trying to poke out of the skin. It's very broken and it's kind of going like this. Well done, Dang. How you going? You all right?
Oh.
Stop. That's it.
So Brad has completely snapped his humerus, and it also looks like he's done his elbow as well. He's going to probably need pins and plates to get it back together. Yeah, he'll have to go to surgery as soon as I can get him in. We can't wait much longer.
So what do you reckon will happen, mate?
You'll have to go to theatre and have it fixed.
For Ruth and Brad, the news is devastating.
The bone's just sticking out or something, isn't it?
It's snapped in, so instead of being straight like that, it's sort of going like this. Yeah. We at work. You work for yourself? I think the gravity of the situation has started to hit Brad.
But do you need to tell anyone you're here?
As he waits to go to theatre, Carly helps Brad contact a family member.
You have 57 missed calls, 93 text messages.
Have a look at the emails.
You need to clear this thing out.
Yeah, whatever.
6,976.
There you go. Hello? There you go. I've done a job on myself. Fell off the ladder and broke my right arm and bicep.
Humorous.
Yeah, it's very humorous.
I love coming to work every day, being able to help people and make them feel better. How's the pain at the moment?
It's okay.
All right. The people that are walking in the door, some of them think it is the worst day of their life. It's all about helping people. We want good outcomes.
I'm just really dry.
Yeah, I know. Do you want me to get you a bit of ice?
Something.
All right. Do you need to?
Not in a mess.
Well, the plan for Brad now is ice, and he's going to get prepped for surgery.
Brad is taken to theatre, where orthopaedic surgeons will work to repair his shattered bones.
It's difficult to say at this stage how much use he'll have back in his arm. That just all depends on how the surgery goes.
Nice deep breath for us there, Brad.
Brad is going under. But there is no rest for the team back in the emergency department.
965 coming to you with a 24-year-old female with a history of seizures.
Paramedics are on their way with a young woman who is suffering a life-threatening seizure.
We'll be with you in 5 minutes, thanks.
Copy clear.
A trauma team quickly assembles.
I'm going to get airway pack and stuff. We're about to receive a young lady from a GP who's experienced a seizure. Seizures are electrical disturbances that happen in your brain that can affect breathing, can affect the cardiovascular system, and potentially can cause you to die.
Can I please get a water test, Teresa? Thanks.
Resuscitation nurse Ewan will be assisting doctors Judy Alford and Andrew Jones in the young woman's critical care.
When you're dealing with life and death, it's very stressful. Do you want any more drugs out? You just have to focus on your job and hope for the best.
Righty, and over on 3. 1, 2, 3. No.
The 24-year-old female, she got a history of rigidity and dystonia condition. She was seizing for at least 20 to 30 minutes before we arrived.
Yes.
She's now verbal with us. She's answering questions about her pain level.
That's good. We won't integrate this probably later. She doesn't need it.
The patient is known to the emergency team. She suffers from a rare neurological disease known as progressive encephalomyelitis, or PERM. There are only around 100 known cases worldwide.
PERM is characterised by quite severe muscle spasms and rigidity. It typically involves the brainstem as well, so it is potentially a life-threatening condition.
She was at her doctor's surgery getting a flu vax shot. She received her flu vax shot and then she had a reaction.
Her condition can be set off by pain stimuli, and it seems her seizure may have been brought on by the pain of the vaccination.
Was anyone with her? Anyone coming?
She had a carer, but
yes.
she had the dog and the wheelchair, so I think she's heading up.
The patient's therapy dog, Maisie, is being rushed to the hospital to be with her.
You're okay, you're okay. Yes, again.
She's fortunately received midazolam on the way here and she is improving. I guess we want to make sure that we're keeping her airways open, monitoring her closely and giving her some supportive measures and some reassurance.
Looks like you've had a good dose of Bentos. Okay, we'll just calm things down for you, all right?
The medication that has been administered has settled her painful spasms for now.
She has had treatment by the paramedics and it's helped her a lot, but she's still in the danger zone. She could have another seizure and we just need to watch out for that.
While watching her closely, the team also need to run some tests to determine whether her 30-minute seizure has caused any oxygen deprivation to her brain.
In terms of bloods, I think you just do a gas, electrolytes.
The initial tests we'd like to run are blood gas and having a look at her oxygen saturation. Also on her blood tests, we want to look at her markers of infection or inflammation.
So you just watch and wait.
And we're certainly concerned that there is potential for deterioration and we need to monitor her very closely to make sure that she doesn't get any worse.
While they wait for the test results, her therapy dog Maisie arrives.
Therapy dogs are assigned for specific conditions.
Maisie is trained to sit up on the patient's lap if she detects signs of an oncoming seizure.
The dogs just jump, so we know now that the seizure is imminent.
Maisie is right. She's taken a turn for the worse.
We'll sort it out as soon as possible, okay? The worst case scenario is her to lose her airway. Seizures can cause that, and if she loses her airway, stop her breathing, can't oxygenate her brain or her heart. Just trying to make sure that doesn't happen.
If she's not oxygenating her brain adequately, there's potential for long-term brain damage, which is obviously a dreadful result that we'd really like to avoid.
But luckily, she's in safe hands.
That's Mum and Dad. That might be a good idea. Let's go with 2.5.
2.5?
Yeah.
Okay.
Midazolam can be a relaxing agent that can help to settle the firm, tight muscle condition that she's developed.
My dad is going through now, okay?
If the medication doesn't work, they'll have to resort to intubation, which carries its own risks.
So we'll see how this goes.
The anticonvulsant drug starts to work.
There you go, sweetie.
And has prevented her from going into respiratory arrest.
Right.
Just giving it a flush, okay? It's never easy seeing anyone go through a seizure, but due to a condition, regularly has these seizures. So it's really sad for someone to experience so much pain.
The seizure has placed major stress on her body, so she now needs to rest and recover.
Let you rest for a while, okay? Okay, I'll be back.
Any medical condition you come into hospital with is scary. It's important to provide medical care, but it's also important to show compassion. Just pushing it in slow, okay? Making sure they're emotionally okay. Providing that support is just as important as giving them the initial treatment. Does that hurt? Can I press on it? Seizures have passed. Blood results are okay, so she'll be able to go home soon.
With the patient now stable, her loyal dog Maisie is also having a well-earned rest.
I think therapy dogs are great. Seeing one come into the hospital is always a warm welcome. I mean, dogs are amazing in general. They provide you with comfort, companionship, but I think Maisie's extra amazing because it also helps with medical condition and is very invaluable.
In the theatre at the Heart-Lung Clinic, the surgical team have removed Craig's ailing heart in preparation for his new donor heart, which has just arrived at the hospital.
Thanks, Dave.
They've made it, but the heart won't survive for much longer on ice, so it's headed straight to the operating theatre.
All right, that's the patient got on the table in the ABO.
So the heart's just been wheeled in on ice. So we need to move quite quickly to reimplant his donor heart. Time is quite precious at the moment.
Craig's new heart is ready.
The heart's gone into the patient. And now they're just anastomosing the major vessels, which is when we join one structure to the other.
While surgeons begin the delicate implant process,
Hi, is that Jenny speaking?
transplant coordinator Emily makes a special call to his sister.
It's good news. It's all going ahead for him today. When it comes to that phone call, it's normally quite emotionally fueled, and to be the person that makes that call, yeah, it's definitely a privilege. You're up in Queensland, I hear. So yeah, I always enjoy that bit, no matter what time of the night it is. So he will be very well looked after.
After almost 2 hours in theatre, it's time to see if Craig's new heart will beat by itself.
Gloves off, rings off, still at the heart.
So right now there's a bit of nervous energy in the room. We're just waiting and hoping now that the heart will start beating. It's quite intense just waiting for the new heart to take. It's a really crucial time right now.
It's been close to a minute, and Craig's heart still isn't responding. In Theatre 2, Craig's heart transplant is still underway. The team are anxiously waiting to see if his new donor heart will beat inside his chest.
Gloves off, rings off, still at the heart.
It's quite intense just waiting for the new heart to take. It's a really crucial time right now. If you just look on the top reading, that's like the clinician's beating. Yeah, his heart's beating, which you can see also on the screen over there. It's incredible to see Craig's heart beating. What a gift someone else has given him today. It's very special.
With his new heart beating well, the surgeons begin closing Craig's chest.
I'm just wanting to please hand over Craig after the heart transplant. Craig will go to our ICU, and then the nursing teams there will take over. Take good care of him. It's a privilege to be part of this team and give Craig a new heart today. It's a really, really great outcome, so we're all feeling very good, very happy. It's been a good day.
The surgery has gone well, but the nurses in intensive care will need to monitor Craig closely.
Transplant surgery itself comes with huge risks of bleeding and stroke. Obviously, until we know Craig is stable post-operatively in intensive care, that kind of first 24 hours is really critical for him. When you've been involved in the retrieval side of someone's transplant, I feel kind of responsible that it goes well. And until I see him tomorrow in ICU and know that things are trending along the right way, it is an anxious wait.
Patient Brad fell off a ladder from a balcony and is on his way to theatre in the hope that orthopaedic surgeons can repair his crushed arm.
So Brad has completely snapped his humerus, and it also looks like he's done his elbow as well.
Brad is a roofer by trade, so his livelihood is at stake.
Nice deep breaths for us there, Brad. 1, 2, 3.
1, 2.
Perioperative nurse Nikita will be leading the nursing team in the surgery.
So today I'm being the scout, which means I'm running around getting everything that the surgeon needs. 2 blades. Orthopedics is very intense. Your patients are at their most vulnerable, so you have to be on your game all the time. Beautiful. I think Brad's injury would be so painful. He's got 2 fractures and it's a nasty injury. This is definitely quite an intense trauma.
The surgery will involve putting plates and pins in Brad's arm and elbow.
So put a little small plate down there. Yeah. And a nice long one. Yeah.
First, the surgeons must examine the injury to assess the extent of the damage.
Usually you find with anything that's a trauma, the surgeons have to do a lot of exploring. They need to, make sure that there's no nerve damage. They need to make sure that there's no vessel damage.
Are you down in the fracture? No. I'm just washing out.
Once they reach the broken bones, the surgeons can start fixing Brad's arm.
Use the X-ray to see how we've aligned the fracture so that it looks anatomically correct.
Once aligned, screws will hold the bones in place so that Brad can hopefully use his arm. But working with power tools to drill into bone doesn't always go to plan.
We had a little issue where one of our drill bits broke. We do have this happen quite often when patients have got really strong bone. The drill bit actually isn't strong enough to actually go through. So this gentleman has got very strong bones.
After hours of cutting, drilling and pinning, the surgeons have rebuilt Brad's shattered arm.
I love orthopedics, so this is my favourite specialty. It's one of my favourites because it's very clear-cut. It's broken and we can put it back together, and 9 out of 10 that patient's going to be back to normal again.
And we're done.
Yay! We had a great result with Brad. Bones were put back together and there was no damage done to his nerves.
Brad. Hello. All finished.
So after, I think, about 6 or 8 weeks, depending on Brad, he should be back to normal, back on the tools. Now that we're finally done, it's clean time. And then we get ready for the next surgery. Good job, sister. I love being a nurse, and I think that all the nurses will agree with me when we say we don't do it for the glory. We actually just do it because we genuinely love what we do, and we love caring for people and making sure that everything works out well for them. I actually can't imagine myself doing anything else than being a theatre nurse. Okay, bye. Thanks for today.
It's the morning after Craig's received his new heart, and transplant coordinator Emily is keen to check on his condition.
We're en route to ICU, so level 5, to check in on Craig. He's only just sort of about 14 hours post-op now. Being a transplant coordinator comes with the highs and the lows. The highs of finding them an organ, and the lows of those that sadly don't always make it post-transplant. 17. Bad day is when you go up to ICU and see them with their family at their bedside, and you kind of know things aren't going the right way. They're pulling out on the patient because there's nothing else we can do. So, fingers crossed for Craig today. Hello, hello. Hi, Craig. How are you going? I'm not here to bother you too long, but
You're right.
you look great.
Feel good.
Really. In pain? It's under control?
It's all good, yeah.
It's all okay. You're only just 14 hours post-op?
Yeah, that's right.
So, yeah, you're doing
It's incredible.
amazingly. All that gym work paid off,
well,
eh?
that's right.
It helps you get through these big surgeries. But yeah, I won't pest you too much. We've got a long way to go, but yeah, it's all moving in the right direction.
Yeah.
All right, well, keep it up. You look great.
Thanks so
So,
much.
no worries. Cheers, guys. Looks good, huh? From yesterday. Yeah, day one post-transplant for him to look like that. I mean, he's not even 24 hours yet, so yeah, thanks to the work, obviously, of our surgeons and wonderful ICU team.
Hi, it's Jen here for Craig.
Craig's sister Jennifer didn't know if she would see her brother again. Now she's flown from Queensland to find out he's doing okay.
Hi, darling.
Good to see you.
So good to see you too.
Yeah. Yeah, going good.
Going good, you look great.
Yeah. Yeah, no.
Oh,
Quick.
just amazing, just amazing. The whole...
Yeah.
Nursing, it's a lot more than the stereotypical bedside nurse in that patients become like a small family, a small unit, and we are involved in their care at so many different points in their life other than at the bedside.
But I can feel your
Yeah.
fingers pumping,
Yeah.
pulsing.
Yeah.
It's strong.
The impact that you have on someone's life isn't generally at the bedside. It's that conversation that you've had with them at 2 o'clock in the morning. It's the breaking the good news, breaking the bad news, sitting down, not with the patient, but their husband or their sister. It's all those little hidden bits that go on in between giving IV medications and dressing changes. And I think that's what patients, I hope, remember of us, is where we stepped in their life and what changed from there on.
Yeah, it's good. Got a future now.
Rise up, open your heart and greet the day.
As a transplant coordinator, you feel that you've given them the lifeline, you've given them the second lease of life, but that's just where the journey starts for them. We fixate on this whiteboard out here, I don't know if you can see it, on our numbers. So it's a good feeling to come back from a retrieval, update the whiteboard. So that's 23 transplants for the year. I couldn't imagine doing a job that's any more rewarding than what I do now. No worries. Cheers, guys.
Do you want me to do airway? Yeah. And working together as a team in emergency and stabilising someone. All right, mate, just don't move your neck, okay? And then hearing later that they've gotten out of hospital is one of the best parts of their job. That's why I became a nurse. Yeah.
The most rewarding thing for me is being able to care for people when they need it the most. It's such a privilege to be a nurse. I couldn't see myself doing anything else. This is me.